Hey everybody, it's been quite a while. After we got back from uh, getting the Safety Plus bar put in, we stayed at my brother's for a couple more weeks, and right before we left to head north, I had some emergency dental work to be done, and so got it done locally. There were just a couple of fillings, but it was pretty painful prior, and went to a nearby dentist. We don't have dental insurance, so two fillings ended up running about $500. And anyway, we hit the road a couple days later, and for the next week or more, I still had, this pain reoccurring at times, and sometimes more than you really wanted. So, but anyway, we went on, and we drove up through Kentucky into Illinois, which that was really my first glance at seeing how agricultural lower Illinois is, and drove on into Iowa. We had really three different places and some friends in Iowa that we wanted to see, so we got in, and right down the road from where the American Picker Show is, and so went there, and it was okay. A couple of buildings that you see, on the TV, and it's mostly souvenirs and stuff inside. There were some items for sale, but it's just some young people there, selling the items, and I finally I got my dose of realizing that those kids, they were there strictly to to sell souvenirs, because I remember one of the gals came up to me and asked me if I could use some help, and I said, yeah, do you have any militaria? And she looks at me kind of confused and thought about it for a second and says, I don't know what that is. I said, okay. So I told her what it was, and she said, no, I don't think so. So anyway, we left, and just north of there in another town, I had done a genealogy blog on a guy from there, and I wanted to check on some more records and stuff. And they have a children's discovery center, and right across from them is a library. So I go there, and the discovery center looked like it hadn't been open for quite some time. I don't know if it was because of COVID or they had shut down or what the deal was. So I went on to the library, and went in, and I asked him about it, and looked for anything on him, and I said, you got anything on Felix Adler? She says, oh no. I said, what? He's from here. This is your guy, and it's one of the famous things that your town's known for. And he used to be a really famous clown back in the day. Anyway, they said, no, that's at a so-and-so library. They, got the archives and the genealogy and all that. And I'm not going to go driving all over the state, to check all this out. If I'd had more time, but so the main reason for going to Iowa was to see the Field of Dreams movie site, and we got to go see that. That was pretty cool. It was nice seeing it, and Kim got to sit there on the bleachers, and I got to go out on the pitcher mound, and it was pretty cool. The downside there is that right next to this nice long driveway to get into it is this other gravel road right next to it, and nothing but heavy-duty construction trucks coming through, just one after the other, because they're in a hurry to build this kind of a stadium, I guess, or something around it for like 8,000 more seats. The whole game's there and all this stuff, and this place is going to be nothing like it was before. So I'm glad we got to see it when we did, because I think what they're doing, it may be a good idea, but just theory to me seems like it's going to be crap, So anyway, left there to go see our friends, and we didn't have their address. We knew what town they were in, but couldn't get a hold of them, and turned out later it appeared he may have been in the hospital at the time, so because we talked to them later, but So we said, okay, so we'll head on up into Minnesota, pick up I-90 and go run across because we want to go through South Dakota. So we did that, and while we were up there in Minnesota, we stopped and saw this huge Jolly Green Giant statue in a town called Blue Earth. It's pretty cool. It's free, and it's worth, you know, the few minutes off your route, you know, to check it out. So anyway, we got into South Dakota and hadn't gone very far, up near a town named Mitchell, and we stopped at a RV park there, Betts RV Park, Betts, and the spot we got was a back end, which is unusual. Most of the time we were able to find pull-throughs, but it was okay. So I let Kim back it in, and I get out to director, and neighbor from across the road from us, he came over and gave us a hand and got everything done. And after we got settled in, I went over, made me a cup of coffee, and went over to the guy to thank him again. And we got to talking, and he says, "I saw your Tennessee sticker on your RV. Y'all from there?" And I said, "Yeah." He says, "Where?" I said, "Oh, outside Nashville." And so he says, "Well, where?" You know, and I said, "Murfreesboro." He says, "Oh," he says, "I'm from Smyrna." Well, Smyrna is like 10 miles away. It's part of the same county. And I said, "Well, actually, that's where we are from." I said, "My wife and I graduated there." And he says, "Me too." He says, "When did you graduate?" And I said, "It's 1975. And excuse me. And he said, "Well, I graduated 74. Well, a lot of my friends were from the class of 74. And I said, "Well, you must know so-and-so." And he says, yeah, you know. I said, "Yeah, I was in the ROTC team with them, drill team." And I said, "You know so-and-so?" And he said, yeah. I said, "You don't happen to know Harry Gearhart, do you?" And he says, "I am Harry Gearhart." And I just couldn't believe it, because he and I were next door neighbors while we were in high school. And I hadn't seen him. I'd stopped to see him once while I got out after my first hitch. And that was the only last time I'd seen him. And so we just couldn't believe it. You know, hadn't seen each other in 40 plus years. So that was kind of weird out of the blue, you know. But anyway, we hit the road on, and we got stopped. I think it was in Mitchell, where we saw the Corn Palace, and that's actually worth seeing if you get the chance, you know, passing through there. Other than that, most of the stuff to see in South Dakota is down on the west end. So, you know, we hit the road, and we got into Rapid City to spend the night. Boondocked at a Walmart there, and everything else we were going to go see the next day. You know, start seeing the next day. We were going to spend a few days there in that area, and you know, the pain had gotten pretty bad the last couple of days, and so Kim pulled me aside and says, "Well, I think we need to just get on back to New Mexico and start getting the teeth done," you know, and I had to agree with her. So we drove on into Wyoming to head down, and there was a little town right inside Wyoming called Sundance. It was a nice little town and everything, and we wanted a real restaurant that we could go in and sit down at, and there was one right downtown, you know, off of their, I don't want to say a square, but their downtown area. And we got to the street, and I was concerned because there really wasn't any place to park, and then I happened to notice the middle lane of this road there downtown, they had it marked off all the way down for RV parking right there in the middle of the street. That was so cool. Haven't seen that before or since. And so we stopped and had a great meal and everything. It was our breakfast really, and yeah, that was nice. It was a nice place to go. So anyway, we left there and came all the way down through Wyoming, and stopped at a RV park there right near the border, and we did that because we didn't want to have to stop in Colorado. Colorado's got this, seems to think that their RV parks are worth a lot more than everybody else's. So we went ahead and went on down, and we came across their welcome center, which was a ways in, and that welcome center is unusual in that it has a rest area attached to it. It's not actually part of it. It's attached, and in that rest area, you can boondock overnight for 12 hours. So, hey, there we go. So we did that, and got on down through Colorado we stopped at a park in right across the border into New Mexico there, Raton, R-A-T-O-N, and that was a nice little park. And then we hit the road, stayed on, because we'd already picked up 25, and that's way up in Wyoming. And we were, like I said, it wasn't far from the border, and we drove down to Bernalillo, which is just north of Albuquerque. And we used to live nearby there, so we stopped at an RV park, spent the night, and then the next day, we made it all the way down to Deming in southern New Mexico, and that's where we stay now. So, but that brings us to why this video is because while living there in Deming, we had a problem with our slide. It's gouged up pretty good as far as one of the tracks. So the best place I could find anywhere nearby was in El Paso, or near El Paso, and Southwest RV. And so we're like, okay, we'll take you down there, but we got to find a place to live. So we got to, rent another RV and a car and all this stuff. And but fortunately, my daughter and her husband had just moved to El Paso because he's in the Army and is attending a school there at Fort Bliss. And they had just gotten here, and they also have a travel trailer. The Fort Bliss RV Park itself is right outside the base, not very far, and then right across the street from the RV park is a storage place, and for that park and all that. And so they had stored their trailer there recently, and so what they did was they pulled that trailer out on a Saturday and got it set up in the park for us, and then we drove up Sunday, got an extra space for our RV for one day, and so we could offload what we needed to offload, and got all that done. And the following day, Monday, they'd also lent us their extra car because he wasn't actually attending the school yet. He was still on leave, and so we got their car, and Kim drove that over and followed me back, with the RV to turn it in, and that's where it's at now. So we've been here just over a week now. So I don't know how long it's going to take. It could be 3 or 4 weeks. So I mean, who knows? And we just have to see. Everything's going to be really based on the warranty company that we have. That we bought a policy with them, and so I just don't know how much they're going to cover, if they're going to cover, and if they'll let this guy do the work and all that. So, but that's where we're at right now, and so we're staying at that park. I just came over to the laundry. It's 3:20 in the morning local time, and but it was quiet, so it was a great time. But that's the story of it for now. As soon as we get something more to report, we will do that. So all of you take care of yourselves, stay safe out there, and we will talk to you later.